Welcome back, gang. It's Delty from DeltyIsGaming.com. We're back doing the dungeon diving series. I kind of want to bring this back for all my PvE builds, something similar to this, or doing VMA. So with this, I'm doing the Catalyst, my Magic Nightblade tank. We're going to run through City of Ash 1, and not like some super power team like everyone's min-max. Actually, I used the group finder and just brought one of my friends along. So if you want to kind of see how this build works in action, this is how it is. Also, sorry I haven't got the channel update stuff out and what I'm going to be doing next year. I've been sick as a dog. I had the flu, stomach flu for about 2 days. I sat up in my bed, curled up in the fetal position. So give me a day or so, I'll be back at it. Alright, so we start off here, and this is one of the easier dungeons. It really is. I mean, and it has some of the best gear in it. And that's City of Ash 1. The Infernal Guardian helm in the back, that's really good for Magic Sorks, and it's just really easy. You got two places to go at the beginning, one left, one right, with a couple of mini-bosses. And so if you want to do this fast, I mean, you can get this dungeon done in 7 minutes, and you can actually solo it on a vet. So this isn't going to be the hardest thing to show you, but, you know, just so you can see what's going on. So basically what I do, once I taunt everything, usually if I want to go really fast, I will just like pull them all to the boss and just kill whatever I can up there, just to make things go a lot faster. But I don't know who these people are, most of them, so I'm not going to do that. But you can see the healing that this thing does is almost at 5k a second. And once we get a bunch of adds in here, it really steps up in the healing department. So I'm going to range taunt these guys, get everything in like a little central position. You can see that that two-piece helm pulling them in, that Swarm Mothers. So it's like a Dragon Knight chains for free. It's awesome. Once I got them in, I do some saps till they get low. And just make sure those two buffs are up. Refreshing Path, Priority, and then Mirage. Mirage is going to get that ulti gen, so that's number one most important. So Buff Timers is kind of making me mad with 1,000 little images on the screen, so I'm just going to turn that sucker off for a second. You can see that little shield, baby. I'm a tank. Q Finder. I never use it, but I used it this time. Okay, so now we got that done, and you know this is kind of like super easy dungeon, but you can pull everything to this Infernal Guardian boss and just nuke it down in 3 seconds, or you can just kind of take it slow and get all these mobs here. And so with this dungeon, I'm playing with a Magic Sork healer, apparently. So I don't have any Repentances or Spear Shards, and you can see just how good the stamina sustained is on this guy, even without that stuff. So it's just really, really good sustain. And I'm going to guard the Stam DPS there using Saline, so I don't see him using Trap Beast. So I'm going to guard him, pull this Infernal Guardian guy here. And as a tank, I always position myself. You see what I did? I taunted him. Walk through the boss. The DPS should be behind the boss like this. Now, he's doing a mechanic here where he's just going to target someone at random and throw his little fireballs. So just keep him taunted through this point, but just realize, taunt, turn him. That way they're not going to get any cleave damage. That's really important and just becomes second nature after a while. So I'm taunting, keeping my heroic slash up for the debuff here. You notice my buffs have fell off. So we got Siphon attacks up. I need to cast Mirage. I'm going to do a Warhorn here. I can just get so much ultimate with this setup. It's really, really useful. And that's without even using Bloodspawn. So what did I get? Burning Spellweave's Jacket. Well, it's reinforced, so don't get too excited. So that's the first part. Real easy. Now you go into the other part. And remember, there's going to be like 2 chests in these dungeons. And so if you're trying to farm gear for specific pieces, especially weapons, make sure you actually go through and find those chests. Because like every dungeon's going to have chests. It's just a matter of where you find them. There's also an add-on called like Harvest Map that will actually like show you chests where you found before. So like if you're really farming hard for Burning Spellweave and you want the Inferno Staff, which is like ultra hard to get, what you need to do is just get those chests, come through and clean the dungeon out, and then go back and get them. Another thing while we're talking about little tips here about farming gear is if you're going for anything but the helm, really all you should just be doing normal because it's just so much easier. The items are blue, but who cares if you're going to scale them up anyways? And you can solo these things in 10 minutes. So if you're trying to get gear like Burning Spellweave, you don't really need the helm. That's what I would do. Another thing about this dungeon that's really nice is the stuff is undead and Daedra, so you can really get a lot of ultimate killing these mobs. And if you put Soul Harvest on your front bar and you're getting kills with like Refreshing Path and Sap Essence, you just have so many Warhorns. I'm going to use Warhorn there because I know I can probably get it back up before. And as an Argonian, you're going to be kind of low on magic a lot, but watch what happens when you use a potion. I'm out of magic, Delta use a potion, boom, I go up to almost 50% magic with a potion. So that's that 12% passive I talk about, having that really nice 3 pool. It's going to just, Argonian is just really underrated. It's very, very good right now. Okay. So another thing there, I'm running out a little bit of stamina, and you probably didn't need to block in that ad phase a whole lot unless you wanted to change them in with your spawn helm. Going up, this boss is really easy peasy too. If you're having trouble with fire mechanics, slot harness magic. You won't have a big shield, but it will be big enough to really help you, and that's like for the planar inhibitor in White Gold Tower. Harness magic in the light armor skill, it will help you out against like really, really hard fire bosses. But these guys just, it's a really easy dungeon, to be frank. That's okay. We need your gear. About 7k healing per second, not bad. I mean, you know, that includes myself in the group, but you can really do 3 DPS and with a guard and with your healing per second, if you focus on that, you can really do a lot of these dungeons easy. 3 DPS and a healer tank type thing. Because I'm using Spell Power Cure, and you can see those arms glow up. So this is kind of a perfect situation for it, where I bring in a healer. I don't know what gear they got. They're not using Spell Power Cure, so it comes in really handy like to pug these dungeons. That's kind of what this build is made for, is just like, you know, getting through dungeons when you don't know people or min-maxed or whatever, and you just need some extra versatility. Also, you can swap guard a lot. You have to turn it on, then reactivate it, so it's like a double click. The only problem with that is it does cost a lot of stamina to constantly do that. So if you're running a magic-based build, it's not that practical. But like, for instance, when they jump on that person right there, you can swap guard, but you're not going to know who it is since it's random. So in certain dungeons, you will. Where like they'll jump on a player and they'll do a couple mechanics, and that can prevent someone from dying. Especially if there's like a hard-hitting mob, like Spindle Clutch 1, the Salene's boss, like has a mechanic where if you don't block or dodge this attack, you're basically one-shot. So we do this afterwards, but that guard will save people from dying just because it mitigates that damage, reduces their damage. I'm going to chains in everything here, making sure my Mirage is up. If anything, Mirage needs to be up, getting that dodge and getting that ultimate. And so I have a tons of ultimate right now, but I'm going to save it for the boss, because after you kill these little suckers, boss comes up. Boss is in the back. So want to taunt that guy and then kind of go through and pull them, turn them away from the DPS. So you want to keep them like this. There is going to be crap on the ground that he summons, but it's not going to be that damage producing. You see right there. Drops to about half health, but enough tots, we got a lot of healing coming through. So I'm going to re-taunt these Bankin, or whatever they're called, Spankin, hold block, and then let my chains do the work for me. My, whatever they're called, webs. Not chains, webs. It's so useful. I love this GP set. I haven't tried it out in PvP. Well, I actually did, and it didn't seem that effective. But I'm wondering on a Blazing Shield tank if that would be really fun to do in PvP. Just be that annoying block guy that, you know, chains everything to them or webs everything to them. Who knows? Anyways, it works really well for PvE. The thing is, though, you have to constantly block. So now blocking, now that will change them in. And sometimes, like in trash bowls, it'll just, you know, kill stuff so fast that you can't really see its effect. But long term, it's really worth it. Like that guy, you know, we'd have to walk back there and kill him or range him down. It just saves a lot of time. You know, are you going to use that set in a hardcore trial? No. But for dungeons and stuff like that, it's really good. Or for 4-mans. Okay, Warhorn, and we both Warhorn at the same time since we're little puglets. Rip. And just constantly face the boss away like this. It just needs to be second nature when you're learning tanking. And then remember, you can't control the DPS, so some of them aren't going to know, you know, hey, maybe I shouldn't be right in the boss's face to get that cleave damage. Just do your best to turn them away, or write in chat, hey, can you not be where I am, type thing. Some people won't get it or they'll get offended, but, you know, whatever. Come on, give me that fat loot. Give me that fat loot. What am I going to get? And Sunderflame boots. Oh, yeah, it was like prosperous, too. I still don't have my 5-piece Thunder Flame for my stamina DK, but, you know, there's bigger problems in the world. Okay, remember to read the scroll thing if you're going for the daily. If you're not doing the daily, you really don't need to do the scroll thing. You're probably going to get a helm anyways, so it just makes it easier. Scroll thing here, we're going to get the 2 keys. So I'm going to read this sucker. Yay. This boss is really, really easy. It's just kind of time consuming. He just transits from one place to another is all. He does do a mechanic where he'll like turn to someone and kind of shoot his arrow. So when he's off the tank, you as a DPS can either dodge or just block the mechanic, and you'll see it. But really, we're just going to try to be disciplined with our buffs here. You'll see this little atria there. You want to see that? That's the mechanic right there with the bow. And so I had him guarded, and it basically did no damage to him. But that can kill you sometimes if you're not prepared. And look how fast that is with Refreshing Path. I just love the Magic Nightblade for tanking. It's just so fast. So guard fell off because I went out of range, so you're going to have to reapply that. So one of the downsides of guard is that the range, it doesn't like reapply like other games do, where it just like automatically stays on and just drops off if you're out of the range. But that's alright. So there goes that archer mechanic. We survived. And he's going to go all the way back here again. Woot. Refreshing Path for the win. And then make sure your buffs are up. So, debuffs, Heroic / Taunt. 2 primary ones. Buffs, Mirage, Refreshing Path primarily. Siphon Spirit, obviously, for resources, but it's not going to protect you necessarily from damage, where Refreshing Path and Mirage is going to. Plus, it's going to build Ultimate. Ultimate means more Warhorns, more damage, faster stuff dies. When he gets lower health here, he does summon more dudes. And so really, you just range taunt him here. And I wouldn't even focus him down. Just range taunt him. Have him beat on you. Make sure your Mirage is up so you're reflecting all that or dodging all that stuff. And you can use a sword and board ult if you want to, if you're really having trouble with that. And I got a Ember Shield weapon. Perfect. Ice Staff charge. Yeah. Divine's Infernal Guardian. Wait, was it well-fitted? Prosperous? Sounds about right. So yeah, loot was, you know, about as good as ever. So that's dungeon diving. Just giving you a quick glance at this. Be feeling better tomorrow. Hopefully making some more videos about what's going on in 2017. Thanks so much for watching. I really like this build for, you know, doing dungeons, doing 4-mans, maybe the occasional trial, but nothing really hardcore. It's just meant for you to have a fun, interactive tank. Thanks so much for watching.